Welcome to episode 8 of Fic Fiction, a magical bookish podcast for chaotic story goblins like us. This week, we are looking forward to everything 2025 has in store for us. We're talking resolutions, anticipated releases, and more about the chaos to come. As always, we're your hosts, Crimson,
Molly,
and Emmy.
Hello, hello. How is everyone doing this week?
How are you this week, Crimson?
Well, that's a complicated question. So I think we maybe mentioned this last podcast, but we definitely mentioned it on the TikTok channel. Yeah, I've been sick this last week, and we've been going through it, guys. Like, it's just been round after round of one of us being sick, and I'm the last to get taken out. So it's been rough. I had big plans this week reading wise. I was going to finish up Iron Flame, and I am still on page 150 right now because I just haven't been able to focus on a book. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
How many pages do you have to read now, like every day, to be able to get?
Ooh. Hold on. I can pull it up so fast. It's not cute though. It's like it was originally 50 pages a day, and now it is small novella every day.
Oh boy.
We shall see what happens. So, for anyone listening, I'm okay. Like, I'm not really sick anymore. I still have like one inflamed tonsil, which is kind of weird, but it doesn't hurt too bad. It's just kind of annoying. It's almost like it feels like someone's poking me in the throat when I swallow, basically. Everything's fine. But what about you guys? Molly, what have you been up to this week?
Avoiding responsibility. Like a hot plague. Just don't want to do anything. I've done some reading. I went to my nail appointment. Other than that, like nothing has gotten done. But it's fine. I've still got another week, believe it or not, before I go back to work after like the Christmas break. So I will just like heavily like disassociate from everything but my responsibilities next week and hopefully get everything done.
I believe in
That
you.
is fair.
It's fine.
You can do it. It's fine. I will live in the Delulu with you, and I think that if you just believe it to be true, it'll become true.
Yeah.
It's fine. Manifest that.
Yeah. Manifest it.
That's what the New Year's all about.
Yeah, very true. Even though we're like 2 weeks into the new year, but let's
fine.
That hasn't happened. What about you, Emmy?
I think I'm fine. I'm trying to like think of like things that are happening, but like there's nothing. I finished Iron Flame. I tabbed the whole thing. I'm so excited. Thinking that Onyx Storm, when we're filming this, comes out in like 4 days makes me want to vomit. I'm just kind of like binging little romances in between now. So I've picked up Daydream by Hannah Grace. I'm reading it upstairs, and then I've got Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver on the go as well downstairs that I read on like my lunch breaks and stuff and work. So I'm just kind of like binging little bits. That was an interesting experience. But there's not much going on. I'm gonna go and get my nails done and get burgers this weekend. Does that count as something? I haven't done it this week, but I will do it this week.
Absolutely.
Good
plan. That's kind of it.
It's that weird point in the year where it just feels like January is gonna last forever. Yeah. It's just dragging, and it's not like you do anything like in particular in January anyway. Obviously, we've got Onyx Storm to look forward to. I say look forward to. Now I'm feeling bitter, and I'm going to try not to get into like that place that I did when I got Crescent City 2 spoiled for me. In that it took me like 4 months to get to it because I was feeling pissed off that internet assholes spoiled like the ending for me. But for the listeners, Target has released Onyx Storm before the release date, and people are posting about the book online, and my ass was the one that got to see the big spoiler at the end. Which I'm not going to spoil because
I have seen one. I did get a spoiler.
No.
Like I thought I would be safe, and I logged into my backup TikTok account, and usually all of my videos are cleaning and like reset my bedroom with me. First video. Like, no spoiler, like, on the front either.
Yeah.
Obviously can't say much because Crimson, you haven't even finished Iron Flame yet.
No, I haven't. But I'm like terrified actually because I have some things totally unrelated to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and Onyx Storm that I need to like post about on TikTok, especially because Americans are currently potentially facing a TikTok ban, and I want to start a community for people to have an alternate place to at least be talking so we don't lose each other. And I'm terrified to post anything because I'm worried that I'm going to accidentally scroll and end up in spoiler land. I hate this every
It's
time there's a
awful.
major book talk release. Like,
I wish they would put like if it was going to be a, hey, I got the book early, I'm going to share a couple of chapters, but here's a spoiler warning. No spoiler warning. Just the full thing.
Here's what happens at the end of the book. Like, no.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And no
It's Crescent City 3 all over again.
Yeah, and no matter how hard you try to scroll past it, you still see things and connect the dots. So
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, even if I see something that's like out of context for me, because I'm only, I think, a third of the way through Iron Flame, like, it's still, as things happen, like, I'm a girly who does the book math in my head anyway, so it'll definitely, and like, let's be honest, I am loving Rebecca Yarros, but she is not the queen of subtle foreshadowing, so like, I am catching things like very easily anyway.
Yeah.
So definitely if someone is like even providing an out of context spoiler, I'm gonna be like, oh. So I'm terrified. I'm like trying to like pop on and post things and check my comments and like run away. Cause like, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it. TikTok is not a fun place right now.
But other than people being mean and spoiling everything, we do have a really exciting year to look forward to. There are a lot of good things about to happen. So, yeah, I think we should go ahead and start talking about, do we have any New Year's resolutions? Since you already brought it up, I'll start with you, Emmy, because I know you have at least one.
I love a New Year's resolution. I'm trying something a little bit different this year. I have decided to set some 2025 intentions rather than resolutions because every time I don't match a resolution, then I get sad. I mean, you saw what it was like in the group chat the other day when I talked about buying things on food delivery. I was depressed and I shouldn't have been. It was ridiculous. So I have 3 intentions. I've separated them into mind, body, and soul. That's the easiest way I can put it. So my mind intention is obviously we'll talk about reading goals later, but I have a reading goal. And I've done it a little bit differently this year, so that'll be interesting to talk about. Duolingo. I want to do my Duolingo French all the time. I could probably just could ask Crimson to teach me French every day, like a new random French word every day, but you know, I'm paying for Duolingo, so I may as well use it.
Yeah. We can
Body.
start just chatting to each other in French all the time anyway. That way you can practice.
There won't be many interesting conversations going on. It'll be like, I like my cat. I like my cat too.
Yeah.
My cat's
now
famous.
I feel like I need to learn French so we can speak, on the DL.
Just assume we're talking about cats. I can tell you one thing that's really important because your cat is a girl. Do not use the female form of cat when you talk about your cat.
It's not about like gender with cats, is it though? It's about like the actual gender of the word, not the gender of the animal.
Well, no, with animals it is about the gender of the animal, but with cat in particular, we don't use the female version of the cat because it's vulgar, because it just means what it means if you say pussy. So we're talking about a vagina. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Your face was iconic.
So you're telling me that I have been chasing my cat about this house, shouting the word vagina at her.
Pretty much. You just been calling her a cunt. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
fair.
pretty on point
That's
for Peggy.
Yeah, it's like a vulgar term. You don't say that.
She was
you call them all boys.
She was so funny today. So Alex came in and she was all over me at work, and then she went and cuddled up to him on the sofa, and then as soon as we left to go upstairs, we hear this yelling, and it's because she's beating the dog up again.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. I think the biggest point is you don't say my female cat. Like, you don't say ma shat. That you're not talking about your cat when you say that.
I mean, you are, but it's not the one you're intending to talk about.
Not the well, I was gonna say not the fuzzy cat, but I don't know how fuzzy your cat is, so maybe.
What a weird turn this has taken already.
Anyway, you're gonna learn French.
Yes. The moral of the story is I'm going to learn all the swear words in French.
Yeah.
Excellent. Starting with this one.
It's a good place to start, to be fair.
I'm going to work on my body this year. So a gym routine was on my list last year, and it just like didn't happen. So Crimson and I are, I would say, holding ourselves accountable to a little structure with like 3 hot girl walks a week and 3 little workouts a week in whatever format we see fit. And I've purchased myself a little pink Pilates princess mat and little pink Pilates legs weights, a little pink Pilates dumbbells. And then it got to like Monday. We were supposed to start and Crimson was sick and I couldn't be bothered.
And then
then we started on Wednesday.
Yeah, but you forget the Discord chat yelled at us. And not just you two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I added a Carl bot to the Discord server, but I've named it Shadow Daddy in good like Zayden Resan fashion.
It was definitely a little more Zayden than Resan.
I set it up to send messages on the workout days.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how aggressive they were going to come across.
So aggressive.
I saw what you were trying to do because, like, out of context, it seems really cute when you're like thinking about like, ooh, workouts. But I would imagine if you, well, this happened to me too. If you just get the notification on your phone and it's just like workout day, it's like, oh, okay.
So it's like, get up. Like,
to put this into context, there are 5 of us in this group chat. And I'm pretty sure 2 of them had no clue that this like sub chat was going on. Then all of a sudden they're getting yelled at by Shadow Daddy.
Yeah, and you and them are like,
that was aggressive.
What now?
I have changed it. Fridays will be a different message.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait.
I'm kind of like jumping in with you. I mean, I do the hot girl walks every day for my commute anyway. So it's kind of like joining without intending to anyway. So that's fun.
Yeah, we love that.
I guess I'm popping in on that trend too. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's mind and body. What's your soul one?
My soul are things that are going to make me happy. Anything that's going to make me happy. So I've got lots of different things for this. So the first one is that I want to be really not tight with my finances this year. I'm doing one of those low buy, no buy things. Mine is a little bit more like a low buy because I'm not just like refusing to buy anything. Yeah, and you'll see that because the rest of my soul points are me buying things. But
yeah,
there's like certain things I can't buy, certain things I can. The big thing I really want to try to not buy this year is clothes. And I initially said I was only going to do a food order, as in like a food takeaway order once a week. But we've established that I think I'm just going to do it that I want to half how much I spent last year. So I've got a budget instead every month because I think that's going to work a little bit better. And other things that make me happy. I wanted to rent Wicked when it came out on Prime, and I did that. Yumi at 6 are doing their last ever tour ever because the band is like rest in peace. And I managed to get tickets to that, so that's exciting. I'm going to see Yumi at 6 in March. And a holiday. I want a holiday on my list. I want to go and I don't know, get out of here. Don't know where yet. Somewhere random, probably. But yeah, that is mine. Molly, what about you?
I hate New Year's.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Totally opposite. Cool.
So you know that like there's that meme that's going around with like the Americans for TikTok, and it's like Peter Griffin going, "Since we're gonna die anyway, I may as well really." Yeah, it's kind of like that. I really don't like New Year's, so I find New Year's really depressing. Especially if I've set goals or I say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I just don't do it, and then I'm sat on like the 1st of January. It's like, well, that was a bit shit, wasn't it? So that's kind of like my takes. Like I kind of like ignore that New Year's is happening. Don't tend to set resolutions. That being said, like I do try to set goals for myself regardless. Like they're not associated with New Year. It's just like this is what I want to do to, you know, ensure health and happiness. It's not something that's specific to the year. It's kind of like one of those ongoing things. In that being said, I do want to work on posting more regularly on my Bookstagram. I tend to be a bit hit and miss with like regularly posting, so I do want to work on that. And then I'll probably just stick, in terms of my reading, I'll stick to the goal that I set last year, in that I want to read 4 trilogies that have been on my TBR for a substantial amount of time. And I mean like substantial. So the oldest book on my TBR, which is in Goodreads, bear in mind that I joined Goodreads in 2017, is from 2017, and it's been on my shelf and I haven't read it. So I want to read 4 trilogies a year. I picked them out for the year. So that one particularly is A Discovery of Witches, by Deborah Harkness. I also want to read the Shades of Magic trilogy by V. Schwab, Serpent and Dove trilogy by Shelby Maharin, I think is her name, and then Emily Wiles trilogy, which is a new one, by Heather Fawcett. So they're goals, really, aren't they? They're not really like resolutions, but I'll just say they're goals. But other than that, you know, trying to make sure that my anxiety doesn't spill out of control, and you know, other than that, nothing like significant, shall we say.
That is fair.
Yeah. What about you, Crimson?
So I would say I'm somewhere in between you guys. So I don't hate New Year's, but I did realize a few years ago that setting resolutions doesn't really work for me. Like setting something and saying like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to achieve this goal. Like, no, that's not a thing for me. So I like to do a little bit like what you guys have done. Like I like to set like an intention of like, okay, these are things that I want to improve or like feel like I've made progress on. So I have a couple different areas that I've thought about this year. And I do think because I'm a bullet journaling girly, the new year is a great time to sort of like clean out the cobwebs of my brain and try to reflect and think about like, okay, what was I trying to do last year that like was a waste of time or I just don't care about anymore or things like that, and let go of those things. And I think that is actually the biggest benefit of New Year's for me. Like I kind of realized that I don't know, like truly my main resolution, if you will, is I just want to be more chaotic and more feral and not try to regiment myself as much. Because I think I had a lot of plans last year, like especially when it came to like certain books I wanted to read and all these different things. And I didn't give myself a framework where I could really play and mood read. And so when I discovered that I was like really getting into mood reading in the middle of the year, I felt kind of paralyzed, especially after the massive hangover of Kingdom of Ash. And so I didn't I only read 13 books last year, which is crazy for me.
For you, that's insane. That's not a lot.
Yeah, when I tallied them, I could not believe that's like all I actually ended up reading. I mean, I played a lot of games and I watched a lot of movies and TV shows, but I just did not read. And I think it's because I was like boxing myself too much. And pulling myself in too many directions without like letting the mood kind of take me there. It was like I feel like I need to do these things. So the feral chaos energy is number one. Like lean back into that because I was doing that more in 2023, and I think that I read a lot more and had a lot more fun. Especially when it comes to fanfic as well. And then the other thing is really like things surrounding like signs that my mental health is getting better. As you guys know, I've been going to therapy recently and I'm going every 2 weeks, and working on my anxiety especially. And so a big sign that my anxiety is getting better would be that I have more time to do the things that I love. And also that I'm like taking care of myself better. So the things that I have that are concrete are like, go to the dentist. I need to go to the dentist. Like stuff like that.
Fair. Yeah. Take
And
care of yourself.
yeah. And I do have a goal that's just a January goal, not so much a resolution, that I want to have a set budget by the end of this month. I think it's my husband got a new job in the middle of last year, and I got a raise last year, and we just haven't really reevaluated. And I'd like to start saving to eventually buy an apartment. So
Love it. Are you going to actually like buy the apartment then? You're not going to rent, you're going to buy?
this year we're going to rent, but we're planning on the next. So in Paris, it's not, I don't know how it is in the UK, but in the US, it's not really a given that your lease will renew every year. Like hopefully it will, but they might raise the rent or change things. Here, it's pretty much a given. Like if you have a lease, they will just renew it forever. As long as, you know, they don't need to like sell the building or something. So we're probably going to stay in the next place for several years until we're ready to buy, I think, or move out of the country.
Yeah. I have one more to add. I have to say. I think one of my goals is to make sure that we have an in-person meetup at some point
goal ever
within this year.
Yes.
I think that is like a group goal. But I think
that is a resolution I will get behind. Yes.
Yeah.
You guys should come, because you guys should come like end of November or something, and then we can go to like the Edinburgh Christmas markets or the Glasgow ones.
That
to
would
be
be
fair,
fun.
Edinburgh's way better. Although it's kind of feral, like it is crazy busy, and I want to have like a package I can die halfway through. It's fine.
That just fits in with Crimson's goals.
It does.
Embrace the feral chaos.
The other thing is, who knows? Emmy at least might get to see me twice because I have really good friends that my husband and I are both friends with that are moving to, I think they're moving to Edinburgh like this week. So if I'm already like that close to you guys, I might as well drop in, you know?
Speaking of goals though, because I know that Molly, you mentioned your reading goal. Have you set a book reading goal this year? I know that Crimson, we're going to talk about this anyway. We may as well add this into this segment.
Let's do it.
So
Molly, have you got a book goal?
So, reading goal. Yeah, so obviously I read 190 books last year in 2024. I'm not setting the goal that high. I feel like that's a bit too much pressure. And I already pressure myself in a lot of things. I don't need that in reading. So I've set the goal at 150, which still sounds ridiculous, don't get me wrong. But for the past 2 years I've like surpassed that. So 150 books is where my Goodreads goal is set. But that being said, I would like to read 200. So we will see what happens. Bear in mind, I read on my commute to and from work. So that's like nearly 4 hours worth of reading every day. But
you also got like really close in 2024.
I did. If I hadn't gotten sick, I would have smashed it. So
yeah, you would have.
Thank you to all the cretins that go into uni when they're sick and give it to the lecturers, because my supervisor, so one of the people I teach with, he got COVID 4 times this term. 4
this term.
4 separate occasions. That man had COVID more than he didn't. Bless his Welsh soul if he hears this. I hope he doesn't, but we move. So yeah, 200 books, tentatively 150 more fixed. In terms of other reading goals, I don't have anything like specific in terms of like, oh, I want to read in this format. But I do, in addition to reading those 4 trilogies, want to try and finish off some of the series that I've started. So obviously, like, I read a lot. So we all read a lot. That's no secret.
Yeah, but you read a lot.
So when we have like new releases, I tend to, oh my God, I need to pick these up right now. So I'll read the first book and then a sequel will get released. So I'm like, well, you know, I can read that at another time, I'm really fixated on this book right now. But then the sequels and then the third books in series end up being forgotten.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of series that I just haven't gone back to. So for example, Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I read the first 2 books in the trilogy, haven't read the third. Legendborn, I've read the first one. The third book in the trilogy is coming out this year, but I haven't read the second one yet. Stalking Jack the Ripper, I read the first 3 books, haven't read the fourth. But that one will probably be like a reread because I'd want to reread all the books before starting the fourth one. Sky in the Deep, I didn't read the second one in that, so The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. And then Wicked Villains, for example, by Katie Roberts. I have read the second book for some reason, but not the first or the rest of them.
That's random.
Well, technically you don't have to read them all, but the universe does connect, and I want to get round to them anyway, so yeah, I was like, as well.
Which one's the second one in that?
Is it Lesson for My Hero? It's the Hades, Megara, and Hercules throuple.
I tried to read Desperate Measures, which is the Jafar and Jasmine one, but I don't think I knew what I was doing, and it was like non-con right out the gate, and I was like, oh, I'm not in the right mood for this, and then I meant to go back to it, and I never did. So I need to like try it again because I do love Katie Robert, and I have yeah. But anyway,
she is one of my favorite spicy authors, and I'm especially intrigued by the Tinkerbell Hook book in the series.
Yes.
So, yeah. Same. Anyway, what about you? What about you, Crimson? What are you?
Yeah, so I really only have one specific book goal, and that is okay, so I had already declared that the theme of 2025 was going to be feral chaos and mood reading. However, it occurred to me as I was trying to put away my Christmas haul that I don't have any room for any more books. And also, I have not read, I think it's 71 of the books that are physically on the shelf right now. And also, some of these are the beginnings of series that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. So I have set a little rule for myself, which is unless it's a read I've already anticipated, so like I pre-ordered Onyx Storm, obviously, things like that. So unless it's in my anticipated reads, I can't buy anything unless it is a continuation of a series that I have a physical one for right here that I've already read, or unless it's one of the anticipated reads until I get to 50% of my physical TBR read. So
smart.
Reading completely off my physical TBR for the first few months, it seems like, because I need to read like 30 or 40 books to make that happen. And I also really don't love taking big breaks in between series. So like, for instance, Zodiac Academy is sitting here. That was one of my goals last year, was to read through Zodiac Academy. And I only ever finished book 2 and got halfway through book 3 before I took a break and never picked it back up. And I only have the first 2 sitting here. So I will at least get to buy, I think it's actually like 9
like 17 books, isn't it?
Well, there's the
side
mainline series and then there's spin-off series. So I won't let myself do the spin-off series until I get through the goal, but I will let myself buy the mainline series and novellas. There's also a same universe but not related like reverse harem series by the same authors called Ruthless Fae. And that's right up my alley, so I definitely like want to read that, but it doesn't fit into the goal, so I can't do it until we make some progress here. So that's the main goal, although Storygraph did force me to put in a goal, so I said 50 books. I don't think that'll actually be a problem. I'm feeling much more motivated this year, so we'll see. Hopefully Onyx Storm won't do to me what Sarah J. Maas did to me last year, and make me like have the worst hangover ever. We'll see what happens.
You've got Thunder Buddies this time, so we'll just like grab your hand and make you run to like the next book. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's true. I think if I just dive in, because I have, okay, so like looking at what I've got on this list, there is a lot of fantasy. For some reason, even though I am a huge smut girly, I bought an absurd amount of romantasy last year. Like, I have the One Dark Window duology I need to read. I still need to read Ledge by Stacey McEwen. I still need to read Crowns of Nyaxia. I still need to read City of Brass, which I think is just straight fantasy and not so much about romance. I still need to read Babel. Like, I still need to read The Poppy War. Like, I have so many fantasy books, but I do have some smut and regular romance, so I think I'm gonna like try to intersperse them in between the series and keep my brain like active, you know.
Tell you what, we'll set a buddy read, but after we finish Sonic Storm. So that way, as soon as we finish Sonic Storm, we can jump into something that isn't fancy. So like you say, something smutty. And that way,
let's do that.
It'll push us out.
And then we should do Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
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 Because like I'll read Unhinged Edward's Brain anytime. I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Emmy's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, sure.
The idea of a book, like, I'm so interested to see what's gonna happen, but like at the same time, like Edward in the book gives me the ick.
The counting. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but his brain is just such a fun place.
It's
just so great. Okay. So that's the general goal is don't spend any more money and collect more books until this feels reasonable. And then you know, be feral and have fun and keep reading. Like, it doesn't matter how many I get through, but just keep going.
Yeah, love it.
And what about you, Emmy? What are your reading goals this year?
I'm a wee bit of the opposite to you, where I have so many reading goals. They're coming out of my ass, my mouth, my every crevice. There's a reading goal popping out of there somewhere. Weird analogy, but we'll go with it. So last year I set my reading goal as 50. I reached 50 my summer, then I set it to 75, reached that by like October, then I set it to 100, met that by like November. It was ridiculous. So although my little story graph and fable asked me to put in a reading goal, I did say 100. However, I am setting a pages goal this year rather than a book goal because there are multiple thick
that's smart.
books on my shelf that I want to get to, and I will reach for my romance shelf to bulk out the numbers.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that as much this year. So my pages goal is 36,500.
You'll smash that.
Which is about 100 pages a day. And last year I read 49,000 and something. So
yeah, you'll smash that.
You got
it. Fine. Yeah. So that's the plan. Regarding my bookshelf, Crimson, if you think you're bad with your 71, I counted my bookshelves and it was 93.
Oh my god. Well, okay, actually though, with the series, like with the ones I don't have that I'm allowed to buy in the series, it's actually 99. So I think we're actually pretty close.
If I counted the ones in the series that I don't own, I think I'd be in the hundreds.
You could not pay me to count how many are on my shelves that I haven't read right now.
You do have like massive
fun
shelves.
in an unhealthy way. It's fun in like a let me shock myself into shame and submission kind of way.
I am like 99% sure that my husband would disown me. So
if you told him.
Not doing it. No.
Mine's reaction wasn't awesome. It was like it was very like, of course you do. Like it was very like, because he's already kind of frustrated is not the right word, but he's noticed that the shelf is full and that there needs to be another one and that somehow I'm constantly getting more books. And he really liked that we moved into a tiny apartment where we don't collect things, but then I started collecting a thing. And so like I don't know how he didn't think that was going to happen, because it's not like I didn't collect books before we moved to this country, but anyway, I just got to start over. So, yeah, I think he's tired of carrying suitcases full of books up the stairs is really what it is. So I think he'd like me to start reading the ones that are here so that he can have a break.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I don't have that problem because Alex is a reader. Alex is
Yeah.
a really big reader, but his books and my books are like totally different. Like they're totally we read very, very different books. So he's got like loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of books on there that he hasn't read yet either. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Other than the page goal, I would like to get through as many of my TBR as possible on my shelf. Again, kind of like Molly, there's so many series that I've read like the first book and haven't read the second one, but I'll have bought the second one meaning to read it and then don't.
Because you need to collect them.
Some examples of that are the second book in the Silver and the Bone series, the Curious Tide series. I haven't read the second one in that series. I mean, I'm only getting around to Wild Eyes now, and Side comes out in March, so kind of crazy.
At least you've read the first one. Like, I have the entire Crave series, but I've never touched it. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And regarding like buying books this year, I've told myself that I can buy one physical book a month. Emphasis on physical. If I do want to buy a Kindle book, that's fine.
Right.
But I don't think I will, considering I've got like 92 unread books on my shelf and then one extra new book a month. Realistically, I don't think that I'm going to need to buy Kindle books this year, but we'll see.
I wasn't even thinking about Kindle books. I've participated in a couple Stuff Your Kindle days, and not in the normal way where you only download the things you're pretty sure you'll read. I've just downloaded
everything.
Anything that seems remotely like I might be interested. I need to cancel my Kindle Unlimited because, to be honest,
no,
yeah. Let me tell you, I've had it for like 5 years, but in the last 2 years, I think I've read like 4 Kindle Unlimited books, and so I've definitely spent way more money on it. And I should.
But how are you going to read Metal Slinger?
I'll just buy it.
Okay, and Quicksilver.
I have Quicksilver up there, so I'm allowed to buy the next one.
And you've got the Crown and Axia series, haven't you, on like physical?
I've got everything except for the Scorched Roses one, so yeah, I can buy that when I'm ready.
Scorched Roses actually is really good. I've read all of them.
They didn't have the. Okay, so actually, I am making an exception, which is I have the like sprayed edge version, the UK special edition version of Ashes, the Starcursed King, and the Songbird of Heart and Stone, and I have the paperback of the first one of Serpent and the Wings of Night, so I'm gonna let myself order the special with the snake.
I started with the paperback and then ordered like the hardbacks afterwards.
Yeah, but I'll gift the paperback to someone else. I don't need to keep both, I don't think. But
our goals do make me giggle, guys, because like most of this conversation is been, this is my goal, but here are all the ways I'm getting out of it. Here are all the ways I'm gonna break this goal this year.
Here's all the little loopholes I've left myself. Yeah, well, look, I have to be realistic, because if I tell myself I'm not going to buy anything, then I will definitely just like throw the goal out by February. So yeah. So if I have strict rules,
I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother with rules around books. Like, there's no fucking. I'll break them.
There's no point for you. You're feral.
Yeah, I am.
When you read 200 a year, I think it's a little.
How do you fit in any other hobbies is beyond me. Like whenever you were like I made these advent calendars, I was like,
I know.
You have time for this and to read this many books
and
to play Dreamlight Valley?
How is it possible?
Hi.
How many brains do you have, woman?
Just the one.
Molly's got a clone. She's got a clone in the cupboard.
I have crippling perfectionism, so.
Oh, or is it? Do you have a house elf? Is that what it is? Like you've got?
No.
You've got someone making
No.
Her alter ego, like Nolly, who she keeps in the cupboard, comes out and like does her PhD for her.
Yeah, who
If
lives in like a
only.
little
That'd be
barrel
so
that's huge
convenient.
inside, like in Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah.
And only eats
Send my
mashed
email
potatoes and
for
popcorn.
me.
Amazing.
Anyway,
What a vibe, guys.
let's play a little game, shall we?
Let's do it.
So,
Why not? What have you got for us?
I'm so ready.
Today, we are decorating a metaphorical or hypothetical hear me out cake. I'm hoping you'll put something here. So, I don't think we're going to do it in the traditional way where we each take a turn and say all of them. I think it would be more fun for us to each say one and then go through that way. So,
Sure.
I'll say
That's
Crimson.
the way to do it.
Say, here's my hear me out. What about you, Crimson? And then go around in a circle. So, my first hear me out is pretty tame, okay, in the grand scheme of things. But my first hear me out is Tarn from Fourth Way.
So is mine. Amazing, guys. Perfect.
Okay, wait.
Grumpy
Since you guys
perfection.
Yes. I think since you guys already picked Tarn, but all of you, I'll go for, I'm probably butchering it. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce her name, but I'll go for Scale instead.
Scale?
Scale, yeah, because she's also a badass and even more grumpy. So like that's fine for me.
Yeah.
I definitely pronounce these dragons' names wrong in my head because I've been calling her Sagal this entire time.
Listen,
babe, your boyfriend's or your fiance's Scottish. How did you?
Well, hers is weird though because it's not actually proper Gaelic, is what I saw.
Yeah.
So it's like you just have to decide.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. So yeah, Tarn and Scale, both is good.
Yeah.
But
Dragon.
they're both,
I would
they're
try
both
both.
grumpy dragons. Yeah. 100%. Okay.
Amazing.
I'm glad to know that we're all on the same page.
We're matching this here, guys. Good start.
We
Good
are.
start.
Like it.
We're all as bad
Good
as
job.
each other.
Good hustle. Yeah. So my second one is Isaac said isn't really a hear me out, which I can kind of understand. But my second one is Hayden from Ice Planet Barbarians. He is just a big grumpy asshole of a man. That is kind of monosyllabic. But my husband said that big blue men with horns and magical penises aren't a hear me out, they're a sign me up. So
should we do a sign me up cake one week?
I feel like we should hit a smash cake. But
yeah.
I mean, he's not typical, is he? Like, he's a big blue alien with horns and
you don't see that walking about in the local Tesco's.
It's
so
true.
I feel like it kind of fits, but equally, if you're a monster romance girly, that's not going to be a hear me out, is it?
It's not a hear me out for me.
It's not a hear me out for me, but I think for a lot of people it is.
It would be.
So I think if you want to put them on the cake, I'll allow it. You know,
I'll put them on any cake. What about you? What about you, Kristen?
So, still in the vein of the monster fuckery, Mothman. Mine is
Mothman.
Not a Mothman. I want to be clear because there's different versions of Mothman in fiction. Sometimes Mothman is a shifter or is like misunderstood and he has a human face and nope. I mean, like, this is a bug man. Like, he's got red eyes and like can see in weird colors and fluttery wings, and whatever's going on down there is always weird. That's my Mothman. That's and I don't know if I can explain it, but it's always a good time.
Always a good time, yeah. All hail Mothman. No, that's a good choice.
Usually, Mothman is like very rare in whatever weird world where all these monsters exist, and he's also like pretty like shy and like super nice to overcompensate for the fact that he's literally a bug. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Now, if an actual moth landed on me right now, I would probably knock over everything and squeal and run out of the room.
burn the whole place down.
Yeah, but Mothman the Cryptid, I'm into it.
I think it's just cryptids, isn't it? Like, I probably have a very similar reaction to Cthulhu.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But I've not read a Cthulhu book as of yet, so I couldn't put him on my smash cake. But yeah, cryptids. There's just something, isn't there?
Yeah, there's something about it.
I
don't know that Molly agrees, but yeah, I don't know that Emmy agrees at all. But yeah. She's just looking at us.
Emmy?
I'm just so disturbed. Moving far, far away from the lands of Monster Schmuck, the mum, and side bonus if I can also have the dad from Bluey.
Yes.
All right.
Specifically Chili. That woman
Chili
could
is
get
got
it.
going on. Yeah. Valid.
Also, their uncle's pretty hot.
Yes. Which
I don't think I've ever watched Bluey, but you do you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just both gonna send Crimson all the Bluey. All the Bluey.
Yeah, all of it.
All the edits, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that per video on TikTok of like the mum who's done a Bluey party for their birthday, but instead of printing out Bluey, she's printed out the dad by accident, and the son's like, "That's the dad. That's Bluey's dad," and she's like, "That's Bluey. He's so cool," and the son's like, "Bluey's a girl, and that's the dad."
I didn't even know Bluey is a girl.
Bluey's a girl. Yeah,
I'm fully out of the loop on Bluey.
She is
Alex
a girl.
is convinced that I'm Bingo. He says this all the time. He's like, "You are Bingo incarnate."
I'm Muffin.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Crimson gives Bluey vibes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, I guess.
In a good way.
No, yeah, 100% in a good way.
Yeah. Okay.
Anywho, back to Molly.
My next hear me out. The Witch King.
Oh. That might be a real one. That's all right.
That is a real one. I wouldn't, but if you would, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yep.
Love this for you.
Thank you.
Judging. Just don't get it. Okay.
More for me. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so disturbed, guys.
I wasn't sure if this counts because this person is canonically attractive. However, very hated from the moment you meet them. So, I put Maeve. I think Maeve is on.
Oh, she could so get it.
Yeah,
I would let her walk all over my bones.
I would have bought those hallucinations so fast. Like, I'm not going to give real spoilers, but I would have been like, yeah, this is perfect. I'm into it. Let's just hang out forever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Shag me through the next dimension.
That's fine.
I can see that. Yep.
Totally fine. Yeah.
Yep.
That's my next one. Emmy?
This is also a character who I believe is quite attractive. But we don't like him.
No.
Dane from Fourth Wing.
Oh God.
I feel like I'd quite like to hang out with Dane.
Only okay. I would only take that hear me out if the point is to make him fall in love with you so that you can crush him psychologically for the rest of all time. So you can do that with Dane. That's fine. If you fall in love with Dane, I don't think we can be friends.
We will be judging.
No, I just want to I just want to give him a kiss.
Okay. All right. I mean,
you do.
Don't you think you can taste the overprotective misogyny though? Like,
as long as he just doesn't open his mouth or touch me in any way, it's fine.
He's gonna touch you if you kiss him. Like, he's going to. He loves that back of the neck thing.
Yeah, he does, yeah. But I also like that. It's fine.
He's gonna like tip up your chin or something and like read all of your thoughts.
All of my thoughts will just be ew.
Oh yeah.
That will go over swimmingly.
But yeah, like I do think he would get some.
All right.
Okay.
I wonder if my decision will change even more by the end of Onyx Storm, whether there's going to be any impact there. We'll soon see.
Guess we'll see.
All I just learned is that he doesn't die in this book, and I'm disappointed.
I'm scared, though, who
figured
is
he
going to
wouldn't,
die in this
but-
book, guys.
Well,
Anywho, Molly, back to
Anyway.
you.
My next one is the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Ooh,
You're
yeah.
picking some very good options.
I'm with that. I would go for
Yeah.
that.
I love him.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with him. Yeah, no, love him.
Yeah, I was into him. I would probably still be into him if that next book would ever come out, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Crimson?
Okay. All right. So, sticking with the SJM theme and going a little bit back into mythical creature territory, the Bone Carver. I would go for, I mean, he's going to manifest as like some weird desire in your future. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of into it. And I don't
It'd
desire
probably be Mothman.
children, so it won't be my child, so that's fine. It'd probably be Mothman, is that what you said? I'm just saying Mothman twice.
Mothman.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mothman
I think,
and boys who can dress like Mothman.
Yeah.
Criteria.
So I think, or I guess he does sometimes appear as like a trauma, but I could be into that too. So it's fine. Yeah.
It could be like a horny trauma.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't show up as like my mom.
Mother.
No.
Yeah.
That is absolutely not. You are not putting your mom on the hear me out cake.
No, I would never. I've got a lot of mental problems. That's not one of them.
But that's not
absolutely
one of
not.
Yeah. And for you,
Cute
Amy,
99 problems.
This
That
is a
bitch ain't one.
fictional. This is a fictional character.
Yeah.
I ran this by Crimson, and she had to correct me on what his actual name was.
Oh, yeah.
I have put Where's Waldo on the list.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah,
she called him. I don't remember what you called him.
I called him
Where's
Wally.
Wally? He's Where's
Well,
Wally?
I think he
But
uses
get
a
the
different
fuck
name in
out.
different countries.
Does he? Well, either way, him and his wee stripy jumper.
All right. He's kind of
I
skinny,
like it,
but okay.
yeah.
I don't see Where's Wally anymore. I see Miranda when she's playing Where's Miranda in Miranda Hart, like the TV show.
Oh my god, I love that show.
Unexpected
Crimson, have you
item
ever
in the
seen
bagging
that?
area. Oh man.
Crimson's never seen this. We need to make see if we all meet up in person. We need to have a Miranda
watch all
marathon
of
and make
Miranda.
Crimson watch it.
Yeah.
What's Miranda?
Miranda Hart is
an
a British
excellent
comedian.
show.
Oh, okay.
And
She
she's
is hilarious.
characteristically, she's a tall lady. She's not like the most like feminine girly girl, and she like makes this show about like almost like herself being like the main character, and her like wee friend Stevie's like really tiny, and she's like super petite, and like
you know Tom
Miranda
Ellis,
fancies
Lucifer.
some people.
You know Tom
Yeah.
Ellis, Lucifer.
Mhm.
He's the love interest.
So he is. I've never
He's
made that
Gary.
connection.
My God, woman.
I love Gary.
Tom Ellis is daddy, and he is also Gary. I can't believe you said, "Where's Wally?"
Yeah. Sorry. I also would like add Miranda to the list, but you know.
Yeah, I kind of want to add Tyrion from Game of Thrones now. I wasn't really.
Yes. Yeah. My last one, my last Hear Me Out, is also in Sarah J. Maas universe. Bryaxis.
Yes.
That's a good one.
He's so misunderstood. He's just a
And who
sweet little
knows?
nightmare.
Yeah, and who knows what he's actually capable of in his weird amorphous form. So, could be fun.
He's so baby girl coded, isn't he?
Yeah,
He
truly.
is. He is. What about you, Crimson? Who is your last one?
Okay, so this is a very different fandom, and I think you have to use your imagination a little bit.
Oh God!
And maybe hear about my headcanon, because it's definitely Gregory Goyle. Because
right,
I have had this headcanon for years. which is Goyle is going to go to prison because he's a Death Eater, right? He's like following. Well, I guess he's probably not. But he's committing crimes for sure during the war. Like he's probably not marked. Because I think Draco is canonically the youngest marked Death Eater. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. The point is, he's going to go to prison, and what do people do when they go to prison? They work out. So I think that Goyle is going to get hot and in prison, and then he's going to come out and potentially like run like the shady parts of the Malfoy Enterprises business that exists in my headcanon as well, and basically be like hot mafia Goyle. Like that's what exists in my head. So, and actually this kind of works with real life
because Josh Herdman did.
Yes, he's an MMA fighter now.
So,
which I didn't know when I came up with this, by the way. I didn't come up with this because the actor, like, the two things are not related. I found that out like today. And I've had this canon in my head for years. So
I love this idea. I love how invested you are in this, like, storyline.
Headcanon, babe.
Yeah, so I haven't been writing in a while, so you guys might not totally know this about me, but like my brain really does like turn a lot of really random everyday things into like a fan fiction plotline, especially Hermione. And always in my Hermione plotlines, there's a side of Not Pot, and then I have this idea in my mind that Hot Goyle and Hermione would accidentally become like besties before she became friends with Draco, and that like she would just get along with him really well, and this would just like piss off Draco to no end. And then I have this other idea that like he might be really cute with Luna Lovegood. So yeah, I've got this whole world just in my brain. Yeah.
See, you said Goyle, and you were saying about prison, and my brain got mixed up with Crabbe because the actor that played Crabbe did go to prison. He went to prison.
Yes.
So a bit of a backstory. When I was in college, I did some Crown Court marshalling down in Cornwall, and that one of the judges that I was like shadowing was one of the judges involved in prosecuting the actor who played Crabbe.
Oh my god!
Because he was involved in the London riots, and I was like, "Oh, call to fame." So yeah, connection there. But my brain automatically went to him, and I was like, "But he did go to prison." And then I realised, no, it's Josh Herdman. He plays Goyle, and he was an MMA fighter, so both would have worked there.
Yeah, actually, that's why Crabbe is not in the later movies and that's why you see Blaze is actually because of like legal stuff and drugs.
Yep.
Whatever. But yeah, which is why in the films it's Goyle that dies in the fire, but in canon it's actually Crabbe, and Goyle survive. And so actually it's one of my biggest pet peeves in a fic that claims to be canon compliant is when they don't mention anything about Goyle at all, because they were so close that even if they're not friends anymore, like something happened to that guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I like when he's inserted in a
yeah. And the last one for you, Emmy?
Yeah, finishing it off strong, I guess. I've chosen Mr. Almond Oil himself. Arabin from Glass. Something about that man tickles my pear.
No, he kidnapped he took a child.
Yeah, but he knows how to kill folk, and he runs his own business, and he has lots of people working for him.
I know that Maeve is kind of evil, but like Arabin's a different
Arabin
kind of
is
evil.
Like fucked up evil. Like
I never said he was a good man. I just think he would be good in bed.
Well, okay,
like,
that's
Maeve
fine.
is evil in like the she's a baddie evil. Arabin is evil in the sense that he is a human and he is a fucked up person.
Okay, I will admit though, I wasn't turned off by Arabin until he grabbed Selena's butt. Like, that was the moment that I was like, I'm done with this guy. But before that, I was with you, for sure.
Throw the whole man in the trash.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
This wasn't a listen. Wasn't the game. Wasn't we listen and we don't judge. It was a hear me out. So I am judging. But you do you, boo. Proud of you.
We listen and we judge.
I'm not sure if we're capable of a we listen and we don't judge, if I'm being honest.
We should try, but it's not going to work. Guaranteed.
No, there's either going to be like so much judging, or we're all going to be on the same bandwagon.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
I appreciate that we all completely agree that a dragon, that anatomically that makes absolutely no sense, and it doesn't make sense in the canon, is 100% fine. And then we're like, Arabin? I don't know.
Have you seen when they've turned him into a human?
I know. I've read enough monster romance to know that it could work.
I mean, I've read this, but I'm just saying.
It could.
I'm over here in love with a bug, and I'm judging hard about this
Arabin.
Evil assassin, man.
Yeah, no, man.
So,
yeah, guys.
So, I'm just pointing out, I know I'm a hypocrite. I just am still gonna be a hypocrite.
That's totally fair. Yeah. I would not shag your bug man.
Fine. You might, though, if you just read it.
No, I don't like things that fly. Does he have bug legs?
No, not really.
Mothman.
If you've ever seen the Mothman statue, his torso and legs are pretty man.
It's all the
and he has a nice butt. It's the fun stuff that's weird, and the weird stuff is really weird. I will say
I think that would not be for me, guys. I think I'll leave that to you guys.
Well, okay.
I think I'll just stay over here with my bluey characters.
Prehensile appendages seem interesting. That's all.
Absolutely not.
I am intrigued.
If I'm not going to like a candy cane penis...
Oh, yeah. If you didn't like the part where the candy cane penis could, like, grow and change, you won't like Mothman at all.
Awful.
Because this is like that times 1,000. It's like almost got a mind of its own. Yeah.
Well, now that we've traumatized Emmy.
Well, if she's not going to read them, I have to tell her about them, Like,
is this like whenever we were sitting on a Discord server and Crimson decided to tell me what pillworms were?
Well, you told me about tonsil stones, so I needed to give you something back. Okay? I'm never going to be the same. I didn't need to know that. I've never had anything like that happen in my life.
Yet.
Yeah.
Don't say.
Anyway.
Wish that on me.
Anywho.
I would wish that on my worst enemy.
All right. What's next?
It's me, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it me? Who am I?
It is.
What's happening?
I can do it if you'd like.
Anticipated releases.
You can do me.
Ooh.
Well.
That's not a hear me out. We're all hot.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're all gonna meet up in person soon, guys.
Ooh.
Get your dicks out.
All I can think of is that Vine sound. Like, are they gonna kiss? Maybe.
And they were roommates. Anywho, yeah, so let's have a little chat about some of the books that are coming out this year, because I'm sure that we all have a fair few anticipated releases on our list. I think 2025 is going to be a good year for the book release.
It is. Yeah.
Not for the Sarah J. Maas girl, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good year to be a Sarah J. Maas girly, but the rest of the book release.
So I would like to know, what are the top books on your anticipated releases list, Crimson?
Okay, so I have a few, although I will say that I know everyone else is so disappointed that we're not getting any Sarah J. Maas this year, but I'm actually kind of ready for a break. I think it's so easy to just get like really absorbed in the world and the theories and all of the things, and I love the world. Like, she is my favorite romantasy author, but I'm kind of thrilled to like explore a bunch of other things and not think about that.
There's more
24/7.
out there. You can take this time to develop other things.
Exactly. And I think for a lot of the girlies who like dove into ACOTAR first but haven't read a lot of other fantasy, like, you should branch out because there's so much really cool stuff out there. And if you like romantasy, you also might like contemporary paranormal romance too. And that's like a whole other genre of very fun, much easier reads. So I think like maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we can like view it as a silver lining. But there are a few books that I'm really pumped about this year. The first is obviously Onyx Storm. I finally finished Fourth Wing a couple weeks ago, and I'm partway through Iron Flame now, and I am loving it, and very glad I'm not going to have to wait very long to get the next installment, because it'll probably be ready before I'm realistically done. So yeah, very excited about Onyx Storm. I have one of the pretty sprayed edge editions on the way, but I'll probably go get a reading copy the day of so I don't miss out, because I think it's going to take a while for my nice one to get here. And then once this little buying ban I have going on is over, I'm probably going to try to hunt down the other sprayed edge editions as well. The second book I'm really excited about, I think, is coming out in March, and that is The Price of Protection by my friend S.J. Taylor. It's the second book in her Danger Association series, which is, I've talked about in here before, it's a new adult French mafia in New Orleans series, and I'm really interested to see how the story goes. I'm signing up to be an ARC reader, so I'll get that a little bit early, and that'll be so fun. But I've also pre-ordered it because I want a physical copy, and the covers go so well together. Like, she's done such a good job. And then after that, it's just two more, and they are both fanfic authors that I am like so excited for because they've been picked up by traditional publishers. The first is Alchemized by Sen Li Yu, which is the adaptation of Manacled. So the way the adaptation is described as is a standalone dark fantasy in a war-torn world of necromancy and alchemy, in which a healer with amnesia is taken as a prisoner of war and must fight to protect her lost memories and the secrets hidden among them. So I can't wait to see how that story is adapted, because it's going to be so good. It was like so like deeply intertwined with the Harry Potter canon, but in a way that I can see how she would extract it. And so like I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be wonderful. And then the second one is not a direct adaptation. It's The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley, which is known as Is This Self-Care? And she wrote Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love. This one is an enemy lover's romantasy, and you can see that some of like the Hermione elements from Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love are there. But it's not the exact same for sure. It's like he has a disease and bribes her to help him, and then she's getting him to like help her investigate how to cure this like epidemic or whatever. So it's a similar idea, but not the exact same. And it should be really fun. And also the cover art is done by one of my favorite Hermione artists, Nikita Jobson. So I cannot wait for these books.
That cover is everything. It is so beautiful.
I know. It's so good. I'm so happy for that artist too, because she's also doing the covers for Julie Soto. And like, I'm just really happy seeing fandom people get the recognition that they deserve, because they work so hard just to give us joy, and for them to be able to turn that into a career is like amazing. So.
See, my plan is to this year reread Manacled and Draco Malfoy before the actual like published books come out, and then I can do like a little comparison while they're fresh in my mind. So I am really excited for those.
That's a cute idea.
We should try to do Manacled together, because we're definitely going to need the emotional support. Like,
let's do it.
I was messed up forever after Manacled, man. Like, I was just, and I couldn't put it down, and I was just sobbing for like a week straight. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. But it's so good. So worth it.
Definitely.
So what about you, Emmy? What are your most anticipated releases?
I have a few. Let me pull up my handy dandy notion that I prepared earlier. I will be making
Right
a
art
YouTube
attack.
video. I will be making a YouTube video on this anyway, in the next couple of coming weeks. But I'm gonna rapid fire some at you guys.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna necessarily some of them I won't say too much about. So in the fantasy or romantasy category, we've got Onyx Storm.
Okay.
We have The Starlight Air by
Mm.
Emily Hard. It looks really good. I couldn't tell you what it's about because I can't remember, but it looks magic. It's out this month.
Love that.
We
I
also
got my
have.
special edition today.
Did you?
I got my Fairy Loot edition today.
Is that the book, The Starlight Air? Is that what they're doing this month?
Yeah, for the Romancy subscription.
Fun. I really hope my Fairy Look waitlist comes in this year because it's been too long.
Mm-hmm.
I also have Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark, An Honored Vow by Melissa Blair, and also A Language of Dragons, which is by S.F. Williamson. It's like a young adult book with dragons in it. We've also got Rebel Witch. It's the second book in the Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter series. Cursebound, which is Feybound's second. The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith looks amazing. We've also got Fearless by Lauren Roberts, even though I hated the second one. Sorry.
Yep.
The first
I don't
two
like
are...
Rachel Gillig. I don't like One Dark Window. But she is bringing out a book this year in May called The Night in the Month. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we also have Arcana Academy by Elsie Kova, and then Lord of the Tides by Annalise Brana. So those are my fantasy romantasy recs or anticipated releases for this year. On the romance side, which is weird because I was not a romance girly before this year, we have Spiral by Balcabra.
Yeah.
Can't stop thinking about it. The Baby Dragon Cafe is coming out. First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. B.K. Borson was the one that wrote Love Light Farms. We also have Wild Side by Elsie Silver, A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. That's kind of it. I don't know why I thought there was more, but there wasn't. But
I love that.
Yeah.
So,
although we do have Elle Kennedy still coming out with books, I believe.
I think that's true.
She's working on the Kids of the Off-Campus series now. Because there's The Graham Effect is the first one. So
what I heard out of all of that was that you did not used to be a romance reader, and now you are a romance reader suddenly. So by this time next year, maybe you'll be a monster romance.
No.
There's still hope.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, guys. No, thank you.
I will find something that will.
Can you find me monster romance that's not smutty?
You liked My Roommate is a Vampire.
I did. Is that class as monster romance?
Technically not quite. It's like in between.
Hey, because love legends and lattes.
Yeah, but they
don't. That's monster romance.
Yeah, they don't fuck though, do they?
That's still monster romance. It's just monster. It's just not monster fuckery.
Well, yeah. Monster. I don't like monster smut.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
But I don't like normal people's smut anyway, so it's fine.
To be fair, I think we also just like threw you in too deep. Like like the magic peppermint penis. That's pretty on the
that was out there.
It's deep on the spectrum of how weird it gets. Like what
I mean,
I'm talking about with Mothman is crazy.
Considering the other one, the Santa Claus stalker man, dead bodies man.
Oh yeah, I still didn't read that. Yeah, so I think like there's a whole side of it that's a little smutty, but like rom-com smutty and not like what we read together. So I'm open.
Okay. Send me Rex. I'm open.
Okay. M is actually the best one for Rex, to be honest, because she just reads tons of monster romance. So like we're gonna have to get her to help.
I'm not reading that one about the milkers.
That's fine. You don't have to start with Minotaurs. It's okay. Although that one was wildly popular on TikTok when it came out for a reason. But
should I read it? Should I read it?
Molly, should
I
you
mean,
read it?
It's very heavily smart, but
okay, then no.
it is very sweet. Like there's some like proper like heart like oh, like that's
I
so
think
cute.
I
That's so
might
cute.
need some like girly pop sapphic monster romance. I think because the fact that she's milking the men maybe doesn't appeal to me.
that's
Succubus's
valid.
Prize by Katie Robert.
Mm-hmm.
That one hit.
Yup. Katie Robert in general, I feel like because she's a queer author, like her smut is very centered on like the woman's experience. And like, yeah.
I love that.
She is great.
Yeah. Send me some recs. We'll see what happens. I will report
Will do.
back. What about you, Molly, Mrs. 200 million books? I'm sure you have a lot of anticipated releases this year, and I'm pretty sure you're getting arcs for at least half of them.
Yeah.
I have applied for the Irresistible Urge to fall in love with your enemy. I will keep you informed.
I really hope you get it.
Me too. You guys actually said quite a few of the ones that I want to read this year. So obviously Onyx Storm, it's just a given, isn't it? Crimson, you also mentioned obviously Alchemized and the Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I also have Rosalie Chains by Julie Soto on my list. That was also a Hermione Draco fanfic, if you will. I also had The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. I believe that is also going to be a Fairy Loot book, so I have held up in pre-ordering that. I have Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the new Hunger Games book focusing on Haymitch. I was a Haymitch girly. I love him. So I'm very excited about that one. In terms of just the rest of the books, Hecate by Nikita Gill. So Nikita Gill is a poet, but she is coming out with some novels centered around Greek goddesses. Obviously, brilliant. If you didn't know, I'm a wee bit witchy, so yeah, Hecate
Really?
is one of my Hecate is one of my favorite Greek goddesses, so I'm really excited for that one. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab is coming out this year, and that one looks amazing. And then in terms of just contemporary romance, obviously Ali Hazelwood is on my list with Deep End. I'm very excited for that one. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. That is in the same like series as Dead Romantics, which is one of my favorite all-time contemporary romance, so I'm very excited about that one. And then my last one is Roll for Romance by Lenora Woods, which she's a debut author, and it is like a D&D contemporary romance, but it has like the characters playing D&D and then it goes to their campaign, so it's kind of like contemporary but also a little bit of fantasy, and that you see their characters in the campaign.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
So it looks really cute. So yeah, those are some of my anticipated reads. I was kind of like struggling. I was like, what is coming out this year? And completely like pulled a blank.
I have a prediction for 2025. And it's going to be that when I get derailed from my like no buy, I have to read my physical TBR. It's going to be because you're reading so much fantastic sounding stuff, and I'm going to be like, I have to read that one. That's what's going to happen.
And then it'll be like, you can't finish this because we need to read it together.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me catch that. Yeah. It sounds about right.
Sounds like this.
Yeah. This year is kind of like the year of buddy reads as well, because
we have a lot of buddy reads this year.
We do. So obviously we've got our Sarah J. Maas read along for that spans the whole year. At least I want to give Zodiac Academy a go, so I'll probably read that with Crimson. What else did we want to read?
I do want to read Zodiac Academy as well, so I feel like that's going to be a triple threat moment for us.
We're doing our Twilight, but then there were some other books that me and Crimson were talking about, and then there was stuff that me and Ali were talking about. So we're just like, Let me
Yeah, we've got to
schedule
catch up
this
in Belladonna,
Is
don't we?
We do.
Plated Prisoner on the list? Is Guild on the list?
Yes,
Guild is
it
on the
is.
list.
Yeah.
Guild is on the
Guild is
list
on the
for me
list.
at some point.
Because I gave it to both of you, right?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect. I can force a buddy read.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we love a forced buddy read. Do you know what's on my list this year, Molly? A
Mm.
Rivalry of Hearts.
Mm.
Yes. Yes, that is
Georgia bought me that for Christmas.
Aw.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so funny that you bought me this book. And you definitely knew about this book because your bestie Molly never shuts up about it. And I need to read it because it sounds so good. It
is
sounds
so
almost like
cute.
Divine Rivals mixed with like Fae and
Mm.
A
Bridgerton
little
vibes
bit.
or something.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I've read Cassandra Odette before, and there is a little sneak peek of a character from one of her previous series. But this book is just so good, and there's like elements of like modern, or not modern, I said like more contemporary style fantasy. It's kind of
Yeah.
like an amalgamation in such a good, like, unique way. I'm so excited for you to read it.
It does look amazing. I'm really excited. I hope that it comes up because obviously with my TBR jars and things, I really hope what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to read a lot of like romance in February.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
I
plan.
think I'm hoping that it is very highly on my I need a prompt to come up that matches this book.
Yeah.
So we'll soon see whether the fates have it in for me.
There we are.
Well, this is fun.
Okay.
It's quite unlike us to be recording this late at night because we're doing 2 episodes this week because we've been so sick recently.
We got to catch
So
up. Yeah.
a
We
sneak
do.
peek to everybody is that we will be filming an episode this weekend based on Twilight. So if that is your cup of tea, we are going to do an episode per book. So Twilight's coming first. So listen to out for your next couple of episodes because the Twilight one will be slotted in there.
Or if it's not your cup of tea, because it turns out one of us didn't have fun.
Wonder who that
But
could
we're
be.
still forcing her to read them.
As per usual. I
Love
bought
you.
them now, guys. I'm in for the ride. I didn't hate.
Hey,
She is
at
committed.
least you won't be totally traumatized by this like you were by Santa Claus.
I
so.
did not hate the book. I hated the characters.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. The thing about Twilight, I mean, we won't get into it. We've got a whole episode about it. But the thing about Twilight is that the people who love it love to hate it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the movies as a kid, so
yeah,
it's fine. Whatever.
I can't
I'll
wait
get
to
into
talk
it.
more about it.
On that note,
Yeah.
I am desperate for it, but I can't justify 200 quid. The Twilight Lego house, like Cullen house, has been
I
There's a Lego
know.
Cullen house on. That is amazing.
It's
200
if I
quid comes
had,
out in February. I would
it's
be
so
right there.
On the
I-
other end of that, there's a Bluey Lego coming.
I know.
Oh, Goblin
Full
Molly
circle.
just arrived.
Full circle. I'm still stuck on the fact that I want the $400 like
Rivendell?
Hogwarts castle. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
want
the Hogwarts
Rivendell.
castle, guys. I want that too.
I've seen it in several Lego stores and I'm like built and I'm obsessed with it. Like
I might try to make Hogwarts castle in Minecraft.
that's
Slay.
fun.
You
Yeah.
guys could come hang out in my Minecraft Hogwarts castle.
Oh,
That'd be cute. I love it.
Anywho, and on that
on
note,
that bombshell.
it's time to go. It's time for bed. It's
It
actually
really
nearly
is.
time for bed for Crimson because she's an hour ahead of us.
Yep.
I need to go make
got some-
tea.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Yeah, classic. I have a whole box of chicken nuggets beside me, so I'm not mad about that.
Is dinner for people
Which
listening
is
who don't
dinner.
know. Tea
Yeah.
means dinner in British.
Crimson thought Molly was just having a cup of tea at
I
7 p.m. on the dot every night.
Yeah, she kept saying
Yum.
that she has tea at 7 p.m. and I was like, it's so strange that you would have tea instead of food, but sure. But she means that she makes a meal. And now I know.
We should make a whole episode that's just called Educating Crimson, and it's just
God,
like
you really could.
random things.
Literally, the Discord is half you guys having normal conversations with each other, and me being like, I need a translation. I have no idea what's
frantically
happening.
Googling, what does this mean in British? Like,
yeah.
We have fun.
Yeah. I think it's time.
Yeah.
To stop,
we have to
because
go to
Molly's
bed.
like wasting away over here.
Yeah,
no dinner.
I need to sleep. I need to read Iron Flame before I
go to bed.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
So... I got to a really good part in my book as well. So,
what are you reading right now?
A Pride and Prejudice variation. Thank you, Cat Crimson. Yeah, no, I made this decision with Crimson, so I was like, I don't want to start anything before Onyx Storm because I'll hyperfixate on that. Yeah. So I was like, what's something that I can reread or like read and, you know, not have to worry about Pride and Prejudice variation. Yeah.
Fair. Totally
Solid
fine.
choice, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for the lovely chat as usual. And thank you to everyone who's either watching or listening, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I don't even know where my podcast stream pushes us out to these days in the podcast world. It kind of just does it by itself. So that's fine. I have this weird thing that we might also be on Amazon somewhere, but I don't know. Who knows? I should probably look that up realistically and find out where we are. But it just distributes it for us. So what can we do?
We're places.
Where are we?
Wherever we are, we're glad to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening in. Please come back for another episode. If you're looking for any of our socials, they're all linked down in the description. I'm putting like my hands down, like you guys are all looking at me right now. Just pointing at my crotch. Goodbye, guys. That's enough. I will see you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.